In this tutorial, you're going to see how to add shadow to text that looks like this, and a much more subtle version that looks like this. Now, let me just start off by saying I love Wevideo. I think it's amazing because it's so fast, easy, quick. It's something that I can just really go on and make something that looks really good really quickly. The it has some amazing advanced functions. Plus, the stock footage is awesome. But the fact that it can do window in window and green screen and all sorts of awesome stuff, it blows me away that the one simple little function it doesn't have is a text shadow option. So when you add text to your screen, there are a lot of different options, but it doesn't come up with one where you can add shadowing. I have begged them to add this in my comments and stuff like that, and surveys and things. I've always said the one thing I'd love to see is a text shadow, because for me as a musician, it's really important. I do music videos and I really want the lyrics to be seen at the bottom of the screen. And I don't like to use a solid box, and they do offer that, but I don't care for that. Let me show you what I mean. So I just picked a video with some white behind it, and you can see right off the bat that it's hard to see the text at some points in the video. But you can double click on it and you can make a background to the text like that. I just don't love that. It's not my favorite. And then you can, instead of that one, you could do just a solid box behind the whole thing and make it a box. Now you can move it down here and that's okay, but it's just not what I'm looking for. I would like to be able to do lyrics, but with a shadow on them. It makes them so much more visible. And I think it looks nicer. So here's what we do. First of all, let me show you how I do this and a couple glitches and a couple variations and things like that. So let's jump right in. To make both of these, the first thing you're going to have to do is over here, you're automatically set up with a video 1 and video 2 and an audio, which we're not worried about right now. You're always going to have to add, hit this little plus, a third video, okay? Because you're going to have your regular video footage, and then you're going to add your text, but you're going to have an extra video line for the shadow part, okay? Now, let's just pull down a sample text right over top, okay, just like we did before. Now, here's how easy it is to add a shadow. It does take a few steps, but once you do this, then you can copy this. If you want to change lyrics, you don't want to go through these steps every single time. That would be a real pain in the rear end. So what you want to do is get it exactly how you like the text to look and then copy and then just replace the text with new text or new lyrics. But what you do first is you highlight your text and you hit Control C. That's copying it. And you got to get over here to an open space and Control V. That's pasting. And then you want to just grab that and click and drag right over top of the first text. So now you have white text immediately over white text, and you can't see any difference until you go to the bottom one. You want it to be the underneath layer. So you go to the bottom one, double click on it, and now you change the text color. You don't want the boxes. You want to change the text color to black. Well, you still don't see much of anything over here yet because it needs to be offset. It needs to be not right underneath the white text. So a good number here is just to go down to the position XY and add 10. So 240 to 250, 240 to 250. And now you'll see it offset it. And 10 is a good number because remember, your screen, your preview screen is small. If you make it big, the shadow's still touching the text, which I like, but it's popping. It's good. It's enough shadow to not just look like a thin line. But if you do 20, I mean, you can do whatever you like. But if you do 20 or so this would have been 60 if I had added 20 to it. What happens down on the small preview, it looks pretty good still, lacks some of that clarity. But then when you make it big, see, I don't care for the space between them. If you like that, that's totally personal and that's fine. But for me, I like it to be at a 10. So just back up here and just make that a 10. 5250, and we're back to where we started. Okay, so there we go. There's your sample text one. Now, you can, just as a little side note, you can change the text color to any, it doesn't have to be black. It could be a red text, shadow. It could be green. I mean, it could be whatever you want. I just don't think they're as clear. For me, I'm looking for clarity and text popping. So for me, that's the best. Okay, there we go. So there's the video moving, and you can see the text pops, and it's nice. Okay, now let's move on to the blurred shadow. Okay, so I'm going to make another just copy of my video footage, and I'm going to pull my sample text down. I'm just going to go through all of this again, just so you see it again. So there's my sample text right on top. I'm going to Control C, move over here to an open space, Control V. I just click that and drag it right up on top of the first one. Okay, so it's all the same as what I did in the first one. Now I'm going to turn the bottom layer black. But instead of offsetting, instead of going down here to the position and offsetting, I would like to blur the shadow. Now, unfortunately, there's not a function in the text area to blur anything, but you can just blur that whole video layer by going right here. When you have it selected, you can go to Effects right here. Okay, if you don't see that window, sometimes it will just show 3 little lines here indicating that there's a menu, and then you can find the effects. Let's see if I can find that. They're all showing right now for some reason. But sometimes you'll just see a little box here with 3 lines. If you hit that, then you can see the effects. And hit effects, and you look over here to blur, and it's going to blur. Now, unfortunately, there are no parameters that you can set. You can't make how much it blurs. You can't change that, but that's okay because it just gives you a very blurred shadow background. It blurred that whole shadow or the black text. Again, you can go in there and you can even turn it colors, different colors if you want, like that. But I prefer black, but whatever you like, you like. Okay, and there's your blurred text. Shadow, sorry. Now, one last thing, just a little kind of tip, hint, weird thing. If I wanted to change, say in my lyrics, I have a lot of different lyrics. So if I wanted to change this, I start by I get this exactly how I want it. Well, in which case I would actually move this down. This could be a little hard because I would have done this before I blurred it, but I'll try to at least line them up semi so that you can see what I'm talking about. So if I was, there we go. If I was going to, make lyrics and I wanted them to change, what I do is, first of all, you have to hit control, just hold the control key while you select the second box so that you can highlight both of them at the same time. And then now I've got them both selected, so I can Control C, copy, and can go over here to the open space, Control V. Now I have my new text. Now there's one little weird glitch, and I don't know why it does this, but on the bottom box, when you Control C, when you copy 2 or more boxes at the same time, the bottom one duplicates, and I don't know why. So when I Control V, I always delete one box on the bottom, and it still leaves a box there. Like if I did that on the top box, it would be gone. So I can't do that. I got to undo that. Um, but on the bottom, when I Control V'd and copied it, it created a second layer on there, and I don't know why. So anyway, at this point, I took that layer off, and now I can go in there and change my text, say to new text. This is the maybe the second part of the verse or something. Okay. Of course, when you do that, you got to change the text in both the real text and the shadow text. And there it is. So now I can actually move these over a little bit further. And here we go. So you've got the one text, and then you've got the next text. I hope this helps you guys to at least know how to blur some or to blur some shadows and to make text shadowing. For me, this was a lifesaver because I really depend on the lyrics in the song, and I wanted it to look professional and nice and for the text to pop. And until they add a function that's much easier, this is the way I do it. Thanks for watching.